Oh, really? Not gonna detect my controller? Guess because I had it off for so long.
This is part 2 now.
Yeah. Hold on, I gotta
And I was
restart.
like, "Oh, your godmother is in town today, so can you like if you have the time, can you sweep the bathroom and also wipe down the bathroom?" And I'm just like, meanwhile, she's like, "I took the day off of work and I'm going to get the car from blah blah blah." And I'm like, the from the beginning of the day, she has been in the bathroom literally all fucking day.
What
I'm
the
like,
fuck?
"You're just gonna grab the car. Why is it taking you so long to leave the house?" She left at about 10. That's number one. Number two, I'm like, "Really?" She's like, "I didn't make breakfast yet," as I bring down waffles. And I'm like, "No, duh. I know that. That's why I went upstairs to go and grab some breakfast." Like, come on. Whatever. Can you at least make food for yourself? Do you not want anything in the beginning of the day? Really? Seriously?
I need to
It only took you 2 seconds
always
to make breakfast.
hinder K. There we go. Now I can do it. Bum, 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 bum. This one here. Apparently I could this again to the buff. Oh, I didn't know that.
They said, I think I said we'll go to.
Yeah.
Also, Caleb was the table of lost grace for some reason.
What the fuck? Isn't this like Limgrave or something? The Vow. Time for the area of the game where enemies just do like 80% increased damage for no reason. No, that's just the first race, yeah.
It just looks like a clear.
Yeah. I hear the beetle. I really should have put the mod to like remove the fog for this area because oh my god.
I would like to be able to see what's
What is that and why did I only do 200 damage to it?
caves slash catacombs around here, so I'm just
Yeah.
guy calls me to check it out. Store to check out, and he just needs it small. So my cousin has to pick up the next small, which means that I'm going to pick up the next small.
Wow. Wait, there's a graveyard here? What the fuck?
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, now I know another mod to merge into this. Fucking remove the fog from here. I get it, but like it just makes it annoying. You can't see shit. Wait, what item are you talking about? I got a talisman, Talisman of Lord's Bestowal. Increase poise after using Flask of Tears. Oh wow.
Oh. Alright, now I need to go to the graveyard.
Oh god. It was like somewhere over here. But be careful, because there was like a troll. Oh, here's a gold item. Wow. Why is that just there? Yeah. But yeah, it was near a troll and one of those virgin abductor things. Problem is, I don't remember where it's at because everything looks the same thanks to the fog. What is going on right here? That was beating up hands and worms. Oh god, I'm staying away from that, man. Huh. No, it was a fucking fire knight. Oh my god, I'm dead. Will I live from this? Cool. Be careful, there's one of those bird knight guys from Raw Runes.
Brother.
And we already know they just have too much health for no reason. But yeah, he's bullying Val, a worm, and hands. Oh, there's Raging Wolf Gauntlets. I just found that. Where the fuck was it? I just found the catacomb. Yeah. I'm gonna just grab the grace just to have it. Just in case, like, one of us dies, at least there's a closer warp. Where the fuck was it? Is it there? Like... Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, that's
Oh,
yeah. Oof.
green drop is
Oh, my point was correct. Almost.
I feel like there should be more radar.
That's what I thought
Are
too,
those
but
caskets?
coffins, I guess. Yeah, there's only two, huh? You got the golden seed item too. Okay. Oh, I was gonna blow up. Oh, so many valves.
There's a note up here that says
Yeah.
get up.
What?
I'm trying to.
Oh my god, he's perfectly dodged my shots.
You have to let them kill it. So the other ones don't die.
Yeah. Well, maybe because I don't know. They stay switching how it works. I mean the fucking moving coffin thing is next to us. Yeah, you know, the big coffin thing that the trolls push.
Oh. I was like, coffin?
There's no way you're like the boss enemy, right? Why do you do too much? Oof. Where's the grace at though?
Yeah, I don't think we're there.
What the fuck? So that's just another one? Oh, Graven Mass Talisman. Oh. I couldn't see it. Also, wow, this
I was
demi-human.
standing on it though when we separated.
Oh, I was fighting the virgin thing, but then I ran
Man,
away.
over here to pick it up. Just didn't pick it up, I guess. Like you made a U-shape because those
I guess so. I must have just missed it. Oh no, okay, they did put the imps back. I guess enough people complained about it, that's why, because it was just annoying. Oh fuck, I killed him.
I can't summon my
You summoned Mira, that's why.
I know I didn't mean to summon Mira.
I was trying to look for them. Yeah, mine are very weak though. Oh, there we go.
Ah, I'm clever. I'm very clever. All you need is for them to be garbage. What is this memory stone? Oh, it's something decent.
Yeah.
So Grace is like right here. Maybe between this one.
I can get rid of my number 2 now. Go.
It's right
They're just sitting there. God, why is this fucker still here? Gosh, can't see shit. Yeah,
But Grace looks like every other thing here.
I'm at it.
Yeah, I fucking knew it was over there.
Also, make it day if you can, because it also doesn't just help that it's night. Plus, yeah. Very cool color.
Ask what was something you didn't know about, and then see that in the comments are wild. Nice play.
I see a dragon.
Ugh.
Oh my god, is it 2 dragons? Oh, it's a death bird and landsax? Ugh.
Oh, there's this
Well, I didn't want the night bird, but guess he's after me now. I might get hit by that, yep. Why does that travel so far? She's doing it again.
Damn, I had to dodge both at the same time.
Yes. That's so cheap. Yeah. Oh no, she didn't. She's easier to kill because her head is her weak point for me. She's at halfway. Watch. She's spitting fire. Okay, it was just straight fire at me now. Watch out, she's spinning again. Okay, no. Yeah, she was focused on me. Yeah, watch out. How? Dragonfly? Oh, the Alablaster Lord? Oh. That was my own fault. I shouldn't have dodged to the left. Okay, but the fact that I haven't staggered her is astonishing. Alright, she's dead. Now to help you with the death bird. Oh, okay. Saw the gravity guy. Don't tell me he glitched out. That wouldn't make sense though, because normally he is here. Yeah. There we go, staggered. No, come on, man. I hate this bug. This bug has been there for so long. That means we have to kill him first. That means we have to kill him first, which is annoying. Gotta try something. Put this. Oh, mimic. Oh, I should do that too. Where's my seal? Okay, there we go.
Get the fuck out of here.
How did I not get hit by that? I must have like perfectly went in between the attack.
I cannot stand how
Oh my god. Alright, but like, damn. Oh, you can't do it like this? Uh-oh. Oh, okay, I thought I was stuck. There we go. Okay, so buffing my arrows with things actually works. I put holy on my arrows. My mimic is doing nothing. What the fuck? Watch out. Mimic, please. That's just not shooting. I've staggered it. Oh my god. She spit fire at me and I tanked it. Holy shit. Okay, good. Now you need to go. Be gone. My mimic was just there to be there. He didn't help. Well, at least I know buffing the fucking cannon with greases actually works. I was
Yeah,
doing.
it's a different one.
Oh, okay.
Also, yeah, I was thinking of.
Because I was trying to use the Order's Blade incantation, but it like bugged out and didn't give it to me. Oh, and here comes the ads.
Wait. So that dragon was.
Oh, that would explain the health bar then. Good job, Mimic. Yeah, good job. Wait, so then that means it was Vanilla, Deathbird, and this guy. It did.
Who's this guy? Now that you don't get the fucking on my face.
About to knock him off his horse. He tried to backstep out of it and I pushed him back in. Gosh, any more ads that want to be annoying? Like, I hate that the Mimic doesn't use the fucking transformation item, so he just looks stupid. Like, bro, like, first of all, that's FromSoft's fault. Like, make the Mimic literally mimic what I'm using. What?
What?
Yeah, baited by this.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah. Oh, he's.
I love
Oh no, I was cheesed. Oh my god, them running in a circle.
No, I can't catch them.
Oh, Chaz. A Val. Another Val enemy dead. I notice I don't stagger as fast because I switched to being this thing. Yeah. Nice.
God, game. Can we have a break for 2 seconds?
What was it? The Val? Or the big... Oh, that. Oh my god. I mean... Yeah, wait. Let me put flame bolts. Mesmer's fire grease on this thing. Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, this is Scarlet Rottman.
You're cheap.
Wow, he would have. Wait, look at me.
Yes, and then he switched up to me. He tried to. He was like, "Oh, he's reloading. I can grab him." There, staggered him. Oh, my bolt hit him as soon as you stabbed him. Damn, that still hit you? No. Not having it. I saw you bat trying to be a fucking ad. Rex dog too, you could get it. Damn, I immediately staggered it. There we go, everything is dead. Is there anything near where this asshole was? Nope. He was just there to be a menace. Boing. I'm at 48 vigor. Let me see if I can get some more level for that, so I can max it out. Oh, let me see what the remembrance has. It has oh right, it has my thing, Lamenter's Mask and Ringed Finger.
Oh yeah.
Guess I'll get the mask just because it's funny. Wow, so now I have all 3 transformations. Cool.
The crazy thing about that is that that was just randomly out there nowhere.
Yeah. Thankfully we found it, because what the fuck? Yeah, let me look for the mod for next time so that I can just fucking merge it in some. Concentrated snowfield with the fog. No.
Oh, we didn't do the sister.
Oh yeah, we didn't. Yeah.
Actually, we've never been up there.
Snow Valley Room. That's so cool. So, fog. Yeah, here we go. Concentrated snowfield mods. No heavy fog, flickering fog, bug fix. Extreme blizzard. Hopefully he has a fucking easy file for me to merge, because I hate having him do more work. Did we even kill the Tibia Mariner that's here? Or like whatever replaced him? Wow.
I don't really care.
Hands and ant. I swear they're always together. Thank you. Stargazers ruin. Oh, you did it. You know what sucks is you do that and you don't even get like both of them in the summon. Spread out. Nice.
Okay.
Let me off the horse. Damn, I'm hitting the button.
Well, I mean, it was worth it.
Oh, better than nothing. Suppose.
No, we didn't actually.
What? Oh no, yeah. We avoided him somehow.
We went around and
Yeah. Ooh.
two. What?
Wow. Two. What is that enemy? Fucking I spam forward dash magma attack over and over. Wow. Nope, he did his spin. Buddy, he's hitting you. Not like. Oh my god, I need to put my seal back. That was less damage? How? Yeah, I'm just shooting him in the head. What the fuck? There was no wind up for that. He just stood there and jumped. Oh, nice, you got it. Be gone. Out of my face.
Wow.
Damn. Whoa. Good game. Just don't let me jump. Is this a fool's choice? I hope not. Oh, you went on the thing? Oh. I was just getting the items. Thank you. Freaking, I hate dry coughs. Pretty sure it's probably like my asthma or something, but ugh. Really.
Most of the items are good. That was nice. You want to guess what happened to me?
What?
I did the animation, but I was on the ladder, so all of a sudden I was just like standing
On the ladder.
and then I just dropped down. Did you get the one on the ground floor first?
No, I didn't. The like middle-ish one. Dang, give me the item. I'm standing right on this guy's back. Damn. Are you gonna... I'm guessing you're going for that one. Yeah. Why did he have that?
Why did I get that?
It was the fucking fire slime. I killed him and he just dropped that. Oh, because I guess he's normally the Black Knife Assassin.
No, the item.
Oh, rip.
I think I can still get it though, right?
Wow, so that was technically missable.
Oh, hang on. But yeah, that is probably missable.
Still loading.
Game. I had 5,000 years. 5,000
Are there any other items? Oh. What, was it a body? Oh, yeah. There was a bear there? Wow. Damn. Kinda wish we would have killed everything, but I think thankfully I got lucky and killed the right enemy. There was well, thankfully it wasn't there, but why are there hands there? What the fuck? I guess I got all the items. Oh, get this one. Fire Blossom.
Oh, there's a guy up there. I hate this ladder.
Same. No. Was that?
That guy was way when he was out there.
Yeah.
Last item was
There's also an item above here. Oh, it was a Starlight Shard.
oh no, I didn't. Oh, that's a shot.
Finally, the last one.
I'll just hide behind you.
Because I have the sniper.
Yeah, I was like, well, we should probably outfit ourselves with range, and then I was like, oh wait,
Literal cannon.
yeah. Find where
Time to get this.
I was like, did I see her?
Time to get this item. Give me the item! Gosh!
300,000 plus 2. Oh, I didn't.
Nope. He lived with 1 HP.
Oh, I'm not. What? Okay,
Yeah. Was there any items where you killed those guys? Like... Oh, I see. Good thing I put on the fucking Twiggy branch.
I don't need it.
Wow. What the fuck killed you?
The marionette. I didn't want to try and dodge because I was on the platform, but he was just able to spin his
Of course.
without being able to fall off. It was cool up until I died. And it was all in the way.
Damn, it didn't even warp you over here. Wow. Damn. That's not flying. What happened?
Oh man, I thought he was strong against magic.
Good. Did he fall all the way down, or? I'm using the magic cannon one just because it's funny. Are you trying to knock that guy off?
Oh god, I had a heart attack because I was like, what is that behind me?
Just a pink blob. Nice. Oh, he lived?
What the hell?
He refuses to die. He's still alive, and now he's mind covered. Oh, never mind.
For a second, I was like, oh god, nope, yet. My 300 runes, my 300,000 runes are so scary.
Watch out. There's a guy casting magic. I can't.
Oh no, this is the worst guy.
Oh, is it the one that casts the spell under you?
Yeah, oh no, it's the guy who throws the nails that come back and forth. Where is he doing this? How is he doing this?
Oh my god, he's perfectly out of my view.
Oh, where is he? Oh, that's ass. Fuck you.
Wait, I'm gonna try and snipe him. Hold on.
Oh, he does decent damage.
Wait, I still can't see him from here? What?
I have no idea where that man is.
I saw where he was at, but I guess all these branches perfectly cover him. Wow.
Yeah, I can't see him at all.
Alright, I'm gonna have to do a risky play and go under him and blow him up.
I was gonna say, or we could just like roll backwards and blow him up.
He's on this branch. Yeah, I see you, you bitch. So, if I stand right here... That's what he gets. Did you see his body fall?
I saw him fall down.
I fucking shot him in the head too.
I forget how to get this item. We just walk down that, like, is there any other way to get there?
There's two items that I guess I gotta jump down now, huh? The Riot Lucarium.
Barely hanging. That's not where I told you to cast it. Okay. I guess that works.
Oh, I was like, what are you trying to attack?
I was like, how did you not see it? Where's the item? Bondstone.
Fun.
I think that's the only items.
Did you get the one on the branch?
Which branch?
The one over here, like...
The blue item that was by the body hanging over?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that. I jumped to it.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you could do it. I was like,
You can. I've done it like multiple times, but every
oh,
time I try to do it, it's a risk that I have to take because you have to hold down the run button first.
yeah. Of course, it was a leaf.
Yep.
Do I just fall down here? Is there any? Gosh, I always hate doing this area.
Why? You don't.
It's just so confusing in the sense that like there's so many branches to go up and then they
I.
loop
It's
around.
it's so weird because at this point I've already mapped out a way where to go. Like
I gotta go back up because there was an item that I couldn't get.
I just kind of look and I see. I go from top to bottom essentially. I'm like, okay, what's lower than me? This is lower than me. Does this take me back up? Yes. Okay.
Alright, but game, can you stop giving smithing stones? Like, holy fuck, we have enough of them.
Why the two? Get the
Smithing
fuck out of here with
stone
your halo
8,
bullshit.
archer ashes,
Hard. Also, who hit me with the second one? Come on. Where are you? Oh, let's just
golden
keep
12. I guess that must be everything. See any more dead bodies or glowing items, so guess I'm coming down now.
Alright. You might be wondering how to get to the far branches. There's a mushroom indicating the far
Oh, oh, you mean this mushroom right here?
Yeah.
Is that livable? What the fuck?
I just lived it.
Damn. It was a beetle. Hate those things.
Cracked crystal. Let me see a cracked keyboard. Jellyfish shield. Oh, it's a jellyfish shield. Oh my god, it's a jellyfish shield.
I wonder, can I use it with my build in any way? With the buff? Dead.
Okay, now I'm a little confused.
Oh, I didn't grab those items? Fuck.
No, but you can grab them later because we're gonna have like the skip this first.
Yeah.
Okay, worth it for you especially.
Oh. Oh. That is worth it. Finally, more rain. Oh. I can't stack it with the talisman I already have. I guess it's better. Yeah, you can't stack it with arrow soaring sting talisman. I guess it's a direct
Really?
upgrade. Yes,
Why
that
would you let me
makes.
do it if I don't have the magic, man?
Guess it makes sense. A sense that like you don't want to have like infinite range on arrows. It didn't want to. It perfectly dodged like towards you. So
That's what the other Marion did until I died.
yeah. stupid ass attack. Wait, hey, gone. I gotta go throw in Downy. Alright, I'm back. Wow. Guessing you jump down? You're just waiting?
Yeah, I went to items, but yeah, I just basically got what was there.
Wow. Alright, I have to take the ladder. Oh yeah, I forgot you could do that. Oh, something died down there. The remembrance we got has Agiel's Flame and Ash of War like Steel Fist. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah.
I love how your spell got stuck. Who the fuck is this ad coming down the ladder? No, don't run. That's amazing the way you found that. Oh god, what's up there? Oh my god, K. Moonveil.
Voice is all the way down here. What the fuck? Not that we care about it anymore.
Yeah, but it's just funny, like, how many times is it gonna be down there?
Really, like, yeah. Why is it always so far away?
Moonveil, oh wow. Full gold armor and regalia. Damn. Moonveil is just kind of like a whatever weapon to us now. Like it's cool to have, but it's just
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah,
Oh,
damn.
fuck off, game. Come on.
I love how I saw that. Just am I dead?
I saw myself falling and
At least you got it. Ooh, what is that? Oh, it's a troll. There's nothing here. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, I just put it in.
oh, Dino, say hello to everybody. Thanks over.
Oh my god, he did half of my health with that fireball.
I know, like,
What
it's
the
one
fuck?
fireball.
Hey,
They need
bro.
to fix that guy.
Wait, wait,
Too much damage.
wait, wait.
Gold item down there, okay. Control something.
Yep. Oh wow, vanilla. Okay, but you can't spam like that, bro. Like, I don't know where my explosion went, but okay. It's Val. Oh god, is this Val? Good. That's what it gets.
Failed game.
Just casually shoved them off.
Why are you still on?
If I had kick, I would have kicked them off.
Oh yeah. You could have made it free.
There's nothing else. You said there was a gold item? Where? Oh. Oh, okay, I see it. Yeah. I thought you meant like down where we were just at. Oh yeah, this guy, I was trying to kill him. Nice. Knocked off Chaz.
I'm not gonna touch this grace only because I don't want the spamming guy and the fire guys coming back. So let's just touch this.
Thank you.
Oh, I. Oh.
You almost went.
I thought I was. Lord have mercy. Am I right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Because they always put them over here.
How is he so strong? Yep.
I hated this. Oh my god, dude.
Did you live?
I did. Like, not almost try to kill me just because
I was like, yeah. Watch out, there's a plane rot behind you too. Had to deal with Chaz.
I hate this spell so much because
Damn, double kill? Oh god, there's a page across. Yeah. I'm shooting her because she hit me with one bolt and it did half of my health, so. There we go, I killed. Oh. Fuck you, teleporting valve.
game, please.
Was it just valves that were down here?
It was just bad.
Wow.
Where's the pink?
Yeah, I killed her. Not down here. She was in the, you know, across from us, but under where we jumped from. That room. Yeah. I could have sworn there was a chest in here. Oh, I'm probably thinking of the other area that looks like this.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
Wait, but you didn't get the.
Oh, there's a Val in there?
How do you get over here?
Just jump across.
I see.
No, I didn't go in here. I was just letting you know. Oh, God. Uh-oh. You didn't get the chest.
Chest.
And it has the Galvo of Haima. What?
There was no flash. I looked around the room before I fucking jumped. There was no shine. There was no shine unless
It wasn't.
oh, okay. I was looking for a shine chest, so that's the chest you were looking for.
Well, no. In this like room down here, there's another area that looks like that with a chest. Will today finally be the day? Be the day of what, Chaz? Of finishing it? Possibly not. Oh no, it is this way. That he come. Ooh. He's not. It's Chaz, so it's gonna be a Ligma of some sort. Peony butterfly. Skinny sort. You know. What, Val?
Oh wait. Oh, I was like, wait, what's happening to me?
Hitbox. Did you use it? There we go. I'm at 50 vigor now. Damn. And what sucks about that is you can't even like cancel it mid attack. You have to commit.
You have to commit to the first two attacks.
Yeah.
Which I don't like but it actually makes sense.
Mesmer, maybe?
I think it'll be someone tiny as fuck.
Oh. True, actually. Time to have my mimic do absolutely nothing. Mimic, please. My mimic is not pulling out his cannon. Okay. No, he's at least using the little dagger, so. Knocked his ass out of that. What? Why did it cast it behind me? What? I guess my mimic was piecing him up with the dagger. Wait, no. What, now you want to use the dragon form? You fucking asshole.
Oh, so he could have the entire time.
Yeah, he just chose not to. Look at him fucking in the form now. What a fucking asshole.
We still have 2 imbued sword keys. Oh, because it's one from the DLC.
Yeah. I have 3 imbued sword keys.
Yeah, I know, because I used 2 of mine.
Hey, because they
I've
were.
given at least only 3.
I was gonna say, because didn't we do the 4 Belfries?
What's the 4th one? I forget where they use it in DLC.
It's, wait. It is the Church of Crusade, I believe. Is it there? Wait. Yeah, it might be the church. Time for the fun town.
I wish I could just players in this game.
I know.
I assume in the Elden Ring game that's coming out, you probably can.
Yeah.
One of the boss moments in Elden Ring. Really, it really and all this stuff is on Cool, but I checked out literally every single person today. Can someone else do it for me, please?
Elden Ring 4. Yeah, if we still had those crazy, like, great runes mod that we had that one time. It just use Radons and jump down and take no fall damage.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I always think about that.
I jumped down a long ass. Oh, it was from like what was it? It was the castle, or the fort. Yeah, Castle Sol. I jumped down from the very top. Oh, okay, that was a big lag spike. I jumped down from the very top and just was fine. Oh, Farm Mazuli. Oh no, it's this guy. Can't even give it to you? Wow.
Anyways. Yeesh, some people.
Oh, Millicent isn't even. Oh. Yeah, I guess we didn't do any of her quests.
Halo site.
Switch back to my explosive
I
bolts.
love how hard this thing
He tried so hard to take me out. Yeah. Oh my god, it's a Telu. I wish I would have known that. Oh, I staggered him? Nice.
Well, again, he just fell down so fast.
Oh. I'm getting bumped. Tight. Yeah. No, I just fucking pieced him up with my dagger.
What does it have like high base damage?
I don't know. I mean, it is a strength dex dagger. What? No.
What is this guy? Oh,
Oh,
this guy's. Hey, Troy, do you know what this guy's for?
oh. He's the one that blows up. He, I think it's another enemy that like sets it, like lights him up with holy or something, and then he runs at you and blows up.
Did you like how you also just left the room seeing that?
Yeah, I was just like, eh. I mean, why did no, I body blocked you. There is preserving bolus. We wanna go this way, like down the ladder and jump across. Yeah. What replaced the Erdtree avatar? I don't even see the enemy. It's probably a Val then.
Can I switch my weapon, please? Game over.
Nicola's city is not OSHA certified, and whoa, what the fuck? I knocked him down. Okay, you had to see what I just did to Val on the horse. I literally shot him and sent him to the other platform across from us. Like, I don't know how the fuck I did that, but it was funny. Wait, hold on. No, hold on. Dog moment.
This is the type of shit Patrick talk about. Yeah, maybe it was. Who's this? Oh, that's. No. See you, pal. Alright, I need a There it is. Awesome. Free bottle maker,
I'm back.
nice.
I-
Takes Al
Oh,
off.
nice. 30 chainmate. What the heck? Feedback curse. Not the last one, actually. Oh no, you need one more. Unless we already fed him it. Two foot. Really? Good. Damn. There we go. She lived. I don't know what she landed on, but she lived.
Just real quick, because my boss is
Alright. I'll try and just like
not in. If you wanna like hold your break until we pick, why when there is a second person working during my break?
do you have to do it?
Why am I the one doing it? Let's get that situated. Like, first of all, there's only one store left. Why am I doing it? I had most of these calls today, but he didn't know that. I said that this guy.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oof.
No, you didn't. I did most of the work. I already checked it.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Why is it always these fuckers?
Log into this. Wait.
Gosh, you are annoying. Yeah. I had to deal with a Banish Knight, but it was one of the ice ones. And it was teleporting. How are these enemies surviving this fall on this? Uh-oh. I hate you guys. Run! Run! Now I'm where you just saw me at, but I'm dealing with skeletons now.
Dude, a whole bunch of button press in the game. But alright.
Ow. Yeah. Oh. I can't even hit him. Got him. I only gave one pot back? Wow.
No, he gave me 2.
Oh, it was just a Valen. Wow. Yeah. Did you get the item pass? Oh wait, no, yeah. It was as
Fine. Oh, well. I was looking for the fire one too, but
fire one. What'd you get? Oh. You jumped across. Or you just went down, like, from the ladder area. Dry leaf, bro. I did all of that.
This is what I meant by
Oh.
he's like, you should be calling Elden.
What is that? Is that a Crucible Knight? Yes, it is. Oh. Damn it. I wonder, can I make him, like, just fall? I wonder.
I can't touch him now.
Haha, you can't super jump up here, can you? Oh, fuck. Yeah. Oh, he... What the fuck? He did some weird shit. He like my arrow disappeared, but then he tanked the fucking arrow and just didn't care. I had to jump back down. He's really chasing me, huh?
No idea where you guys go. Good luck, I guess.
I'm fine. I'm cheesing his AI.
That's a wrap.
That was the last one store. Oh wow. Damn, you get a nice break.
Another break.
Oh, you're this one? You should die from this. No? There we go. Fucking got him, finally. He was being the most obnoxious Crucible Knight. Just stomp, stomp, dash attack, stomp, dash attack, stomp, dash attack, stomp. Like, chased me all the way to the entrance just about. And then I guess I was out of his range, so he kept running forward, doing an attack, but can't get to me. And I would shoot him, and then he would just walk away with his back turned to me.
Definitely wanted what was
What up? Okay.
You are such a bitch.
I need to get up there. Fuck. Where'd you go?
You know how they come to say,
Oh. I knew there was like somewhere you jumped. I was
What?
like,
What? Link off of. Come on. You just gotta go back.
oh.
Oh my god, you pissing me the fuck off.
What?
You are too persistent.
He he floated up.
His head, but like,
Yes.
convenient.
He literally, I watched him float up the tip and then just come back down.
How did we get this head?
Which one?
Oh wait, that's that. So why did we just?
He wasn't the enemy.
He wasn't. Who was?
I killed it already. It dropped. The enemy dropped a fucking silver tear husk.
Crystal released it.
Yeah.
I guess you're downstairs. Basement.
No, I'm behind you.
Before we go down there, right back up. To go across and then down the ladder. Look where the elevator is.
Yeah. But hang on. I gotta hang up my laundry. I'm gonna go to where the Grace is at. Guess I'll just touch it just so it's there in case you get pieced up by nonsense. I'll be back. I'm back. Hello. Oh my god, all the shit you got. Land of Shadow. Oh, interesting. I wonder if that's like a... Oh? Where are you?
I'm in the Celia hideaway because I got ready to start my quest.
Oh. I guess I'll... You did the bottom section down here too?
Yeah, I did all that. You might
I
as well
did...
get all those things from back.
Yeah. I'm guessing Land of Shadow is probably like a dark version of Elden Stars.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe it's better.
Oh, I don't have the brimstone.
She usually gives it to us. There was a Val? What the fuck? Guess you missed him. Or you just left him. Yeah, he hit me and did a quarter of my health. Plus a Dusac's Ruin? Damn.
That's funny because it never.
Stone sword key. I love just hearing my feet like pitter patter on the fucking floor. Who the fuck just died? Who was that? There was a summon that just died. That was weird. Okay. Be-do-do-do. Be-do-do-do. Be- be-do-do. Volatiles. And note below the capital. Guess that's all the items down here. But should I warp to you? Yeah.
Why is there another room there? Come on. Yeah.
That's Celia hideaway. That Caled? Oh, okay. Marked it. Bring my mic closer. There we go. I know.
Why can you do that? You just saw me.
Oh. No.
Is this telling me what to do?
Ash of War.
Jesus, Will.
I'm interested. Kay was cleaning out the meme drive.
Yeah, they're also like, this is so unfunny because, like, what the hell? Like,
Hello.
oh, I'm dead.
Oh, you fell straight down.
Yeah.
Huh.
Why all of these engines are
But the bosses aren't. Yeah.
no, but everything else in Keyleth is strong.
All right. That's for smacking me earlier. Okay, that's the way to the boss. Oh wow. Now you have all of them.
I know, right? Just so happened to find it.
I wish they would have made a fucking physical one. Physical Scorpion. Or Vlad. Dead. Where's the bear that was annoying you?
It's dead.
Oh.
I killed it.
Exterminated.
There were two then. There was one in the very entrance to the dungeon.
Oh god.
There's another one here. I was like, are you kidding me? Alright, now we need to get
Wait, what stuff?
you know the items.
Items on top of the crystals. Oh. Giza's wheel. Yeah.
I guess I already got it.
Yeah.
You sit. You can sit my phone. I don't know. Thanks.
That explains everything.
That explains.
True. Trunks is with mine. Where? It died instantly. What happened? It just blew up.
I don't know. I think I killed everything else. And that's what happened.
I didn't get to witness that. Damn. Too busy trying to find whoever fucking shot me.
What'd you say, Roy?
I was too busy trying to find whoever shot me. I didn't get to see you just insta kill a boss.
There's a meme in there somewhere. Man, let me look up what the glintstone key is.
All right.
I can just look up the word.
Stone sword key.
Blindstone, yes. Glintstone key. Academy, glintstone key for thumbs. The Halleck tree.
Yeah.
Interface guarded by many computer fraud. Access through a hole in the roof of a building at range. We're getting there.
Yeah.
Wait, replace this great shield talisman? That doesn't work. Drag press great shield talisman. Damn. Pretty good. Academy glintstone key. Academy glintstone key. Academy glintstone key.
No, it's not called glintstone. I think it's like Celia key or something.
Stats, glintstone crown. Chance robe. Glintstone staff.
Oh no, it's called seal, I think. Celian seal breaker, that's what it's called. It's in the DLC. Engraved site planes dropped by a shiny pot commoner in the cliffside graveyard west of Prospect Town. Next to a fence plate. Oh, we can get that. Oh, it's funny. It all like goes full circle. You were like, huh, don't these valves drop items? And I was like, only in the DLC. West of Prospect. Where's that at? The fuck is Prospect? Oh, this? Wait, but wait, what does it say? It says west in the cliffside graveyard. Okay. Must be like where you pinpointed. So it's just gonna be a random enemy that we gotta kill. There it is. Yeah. Yep. Oh, now I get to see your rune bear friend. It was. I only got hit because it blocked the path forward. Oh, did it knock you down? Oh. I know, I hate that. There's a clean rot too? Jesus, he dealt with a lot of annoying enemies.
Yep. That's when he came back, that's what I was doing.
Wow. Really 3-point rune cellar. You forgot what?
Venti cup of water, banana.
Huh?
Yeah, someone just put a banana in a cup of water and snowballs. Can't touch this.
Yeah, what the fuck? Okay, game.
You wish to indeed. Who could have? You have my I am. This is
Good.
This brings the bodies
Well,
of
it was
if
better.
only
It was better.
Wow. Oh, we actually do have 2 scrolls, but I'm gonna give them to the Turtle Pope.
My body imprisoned.
We already gave them to the turtle pope. You just have to see that I kept giving to the turtle.
Oh.
My sandwich is 7 minutes away.
Wait, 4th church. Oh. Wait, why all the way over there? Oh. Oh, she told you to go and kill her?
Yes.
Defile her corpse. Wanna play Connect 4? No. No, Chaz. What? Nice. It kicked me off the horse and I was walking and then I stopped. Yeah, I canceled it though. I would have walked off a cliff to my death. Wow. Yes, so now we have 2 of them. That's stupid. It doesn't have to be Connect 4. We can ditch this guy. No, Chaz. Oh.
This. Treat what you hold. Treat what you hold. Treat it what you hold.
And then Jiren's gonna come and kill her. I also have Guess Who. That's a fun one. Chaz is just memeing in my chat. It's just like, oh, you want to play all these other games? Chaz, play Kingdom Hearts.
Literally, it's only $50. That's 5 times the amount before. Okay, so
You David. Sad face, that's what he did. You gotta go to his hidden dungeon.
literally everything that's spent on the fucking thing.
I know. Uh, I wanna say yeah, but it's not. Maybe it's further up. I hate this. And they're annoying for not marking it on the map after you discover it. Yeah. Skinny sword, yes! Hey yo, Celavis is a little freaky. He has a naked man down here. I can't talk to her, that's funny.
My apprentice.
Okay, there we go.
Thank you. And it's better still. Finally, I to expel my dear.
That's it?
I to expel.
You're not even gonna give us anything?
Because my mom is accepting. Always, always, always.
Okay, yeah, so go and get his food. Hey, what? Yeah, Chaz, look, he has a naked man in the dungeon. Right here.
Alright, so now she's just gonna be a regular party, right?
Yeah, now we can help her.
My mom's gonna be like, who is this?
Why would you make me tab back in for that? Ask yourself that. You're the one that tapped back in for that. Sus Chaz.
Where did he flee, my sweetings? Come out from whence he hide.
Wow. SMH. Welcome back.
I was like, why did I just see like a Paper Mario?
Yeah.
Sell it.
No, did you get past it? I did.
Can you do Jaren? Or were you forced to go into selling?
No, I went into selling. It forced me.
I wonder if you would have picked like Jaren, would it have us fight against each other?
Probably. I'm still loading. I might have crashed because my loading bar is not moving.
Mine is not moving either.
Oh, there it goes.
Jaren, bringer of my death. You have my gratitude for freeing me from my shackles. Join the school to reflect on your mistake.
It's 2 spammers and 1 in your facer.
Yeah.
I can't win.
It's not looking good for you. Oh my god, of course they fucking toast the bread because they always fucking toast the bread.
What?
Why does Subway always assume that you want?
Why did it just warp me? Unable to acquire finger severer that would exceed the maximum able to be held. And now I'm in a loading screen.
No.
What the heck? I hope my game didn't like soft lock me or hard lock me. Gosh.
Yeah, sounds like you just got returned to normal seamless co-op.
I gotta kill my game. It was just stuck on a loading screen and the bar wouldn't like move.
Oh, it says you returned to your world.
Yeah, I'm at 1408.5 hours. Damn. At 1409 now. Damn, I wanted to screenshot 1407. Fuck.
Just screenshot the next thing.
And now it's just 1409. Launch Elden Ring. It's Chaz's fault. Fucking Chaz word. Glad you caught on. It took me to Crumbling Farm, Missoula. What the fuck? I didn't even warp here though. It like literally dropped me off as if we like just burnt the Earth tree. Let me go back to there. Did he even save like me bodying Jiren? Glad you caught on. I've been interfering for some time now.
Ah, you've saved. Do you see this? With the bodies of Masters Azure and Yusat returned, so that we, fallen, my apprentice, you have your own calling. But do think of your teacher. You will always be my. Rest assured
You can
that
straight
I,
up see his fucking head. Oh
No.
my god.
the entire my apprentice,
Oh,
perhaps. Here is a symbol. Do you that glintstone is the
It's like-
amber of the cosmos,
showing
and when you become
power
Elden,
and
lay bare the
ideas.
secrets of life which cause the Elden next time.
And you just
I
see
will
his
be
eyes
your
roll,
student.
And you clearly see his visual
Oh,
like tip.
one last. If you
What?
fail to claim your you can always pay me a bit. Oh, don't
Oh,
fret.
wait, not
You-
oh, she gives you the glintstone nail spell.
What is it?
All right, and then Sullen dies. She becomes a giant head.
Where did he flee, my sweet?
I don't even know how this happens. I'm guessing Renala does this.
My eye.
Is it thy to become? Be not, and I would.
All right, let me join back.
Where did he flee, my sweetings? Come out from whence ye hide. There are books and light aplenty. Dither not. Come out, say I, or will ye be gravestones?
What, the item she dropped?
To be better born anew.
Oh, I already got it.
Oh, is it just getting turned into a car?
Yeah.
Why do you see her? Oh. Or actually like a hive.
Where to? Where to? To the prayer room. Wait, the prayer room. Oh, it here. That's all it does? What the heck?
Yeah. Infiltrate arrows are spell.
Yeah. I guess I'll equip it too. Is it a 2 slot? Interesting. I mean, you also have high faith. Let me see. Oh, it really is just the Earth Tree Avatar spell. No! Why does body bounce off the floor?
I heard that.
Val says, you suck. I hate you. That I did want to get it at 1407. I didn't think I was going to hit it today. Last time I looked at it, it was still at 1200. Yeah. I guess we just played that much. I was, but it was still at like 1200. I guess I must have just played enough and not realized. Oh well. I surpassed him now, I think. Well, I've been surpassed. He is at 976.5. Damn. Val wanted the picture though, I think, to put in his server. In the stupid like Val time server. Let us rune again?
No, I was very confused.
Damn. I don't have flame cleanse me. No. Like I didn't equip it, I mean. Do I not have soap? Can you not craft soap? What? That explosion didn't hit this man? There's a rat up there. I know.
Get up there.
Yeah. God, why does this tick so fast?
Why are you so strong?
there nothing else over here?
It's just a waste of pretty much it's all the way through, so you can't just go through slowly.
Yeah.
Why did she say that she was going to make it
Because of Scarlet Rot.
yeah, but like it was still pretty.
Well, because it's like a fungus that slowly kills you from the inside. Yes, you did. Crumb? Crumb?
Ooh, some 7.
Thanks. Nothing? Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Wait, let me see something. I'll put this on. Does this level it up? It does. I guess I can do that. I could do God bricks for the. Bless you. Bless you. Oof. Wait. Is it? Wait. Okay. Oh, you can't power stance though. The cannons. I just wanted to see. Is it? Yeah. No fun allowed. think it might be on the side that we ran past. What is that down there? It's a bat. Like, can I see?
I'm sure it's one of those like disgusting.
Oh,
I was pressing the roll button. No, it's just
and a random soldier. And a Val.
oh wow, look at that. Wait, oh, this must be Dom.
Yeah.
What if they changed the color scheme?
Oh.
What is this music? It sounds.
Ancient Dragon Flora Sax. Oh, cool. We got her as a summon. Uses her own Dragon Bolt to increase all damage negation, including physical, for herself and nearby allies. Ooh, that could actually be good. Die, Val. And die, Big Bird. Good. Yeah. Wow. Boom. Well, time for the pain area. Wow. I'm going to teleport now.